So yesterday I gave you a snippet of when Chicco Twala visited SENZO's mom, okay? That was about a year and a half ago. And he says, me and her are not enemies. What's your problem, you know? But the reason of this video today, I wanted to break down, I promised you that I would break down his body language. So keep in mind, I'm not a body language expert, but there are a few things that I noticed that I want us to pay close attention to. First and foremost, I'll play the clip right here, but watch how, so I think he's using his phone, so he's holding up his phone. So if this is Chicco Twala, right? So Chicco is not a stranger to media, mics, cameras, but for some strange reason, he seems to be challenged, I would say, in looking straight into the camera. So this was an interview by ENCA. So the interviewer just simply said, what was it like to see her? I imagine he would say something like, oh, it was fantastic. She's doing well. We had great conversations. You know, keep it general. Wait for the interviewer to ask you questions. But he had a lot on his chest that he wanted to break down. And this is what Chicco responded with.
Ma'am, like I said before, I actually communicated with her before. And she's accepted everything what has happened. And my apology that she lost her son. And then the justice must be served. We must find SENZO's killers, of course. Me and her were not enemies. Remember, I'm not charged or anything. I have the right to go and see SENZO's mom. I mean, even SENZO's mom once said that not even one parent, Kelly never came, or Kelly's mom never came to see her to just say something. So I don't understand why people are now actually making it a big issue. They've actually said Kelly couldn't even go to SENZO. I went because, I mean, I'm not guilty of anything. SENZO's mom is not my enemy. If my son did something wrong, then he must be arrested. He must serve time in jail. That's it. And that's not my son's and what's his name problems cannot be my problem.
No, sure.
I had to put up the question on the screen so that as he continues blabbering, you realize that the interviewer's question was just simple. What was it like to see her? And he goes into, I am not her enemy. If my son is guilty, nobody had asked him about Longwe Twala. He brought up Longwe Twala. You see, now look at his eyes. His eyes are constantly searching, okay? Consistently searching. And he's looking up to the ceiling, I imagine. Or maybe, you know what? Maybe he has a sunroof. Maybe I'm just not understanding. Maybe he has a sunroof and he was staring at the moon over there. There was something that had his attention while at the same time he was answering a very simple question. What was it like to see her? And he goes on and on. For example, he says, I have been communicating with her before. She has accepted everything. Sir, you can never speak on someone's behalf, whether they've accepted the death of their son or not. That is not your place to speak. That was definitely out of pocket. And then he says, she has accepted my apology. What has that got to do with the question? What was it like to see her? He began from a point of defensiveness. And why? Why? He goes on to say, me and her were not enemies. I am not charged with anything. I have the right to go and see SENZO's mom. Even SENZO's mom said not one parent came to see her. I don't understand why people are making a big issue of this. I went because I'm not guilty of anything. If my son did something wrong, then he must be arrested. My son's problems cannot be my problems. Sir, all she asked was, what was it like to see her? That is all. Should have said something like, oh, seeing her was just absolutely heartbreaking, devastating. She is still torn. Oh my goodness, when she speaks of SENZO, you can just see the pride. You can see, SENZO's awards and photos are displayed everywhere. It was just, gut-wrenching. Full stop. That's it. Not this whole thesis, Chicco Twala. Speaking of thesis, and when I say thesis, guys, I hope you don't take offense. It just means I love the attention to detail you have taken in leaving a long comment. It doesn't go unnoticed. But the comment says, let me turn my attention on Chicco Twala because his immature and defensive behavior is so sickening and disgusting. Why did he see the need to visit SENZO's mom 9 years after her son's death? Is it an indiscretion and disgrace? kicking in. His character is for someone battling to conceal a sense of guilt. The only inference and reasonable or possible explanation for him to descend down and visit SENZO's mom is because culpability is catching up with his soul, and the visit has nothing to do with offering sympathy and tranquility. It's too late, bro. Comment goes on to say, the way Chicco carries himself in the media speaks a volume regarding his alleged involvement in terms of the cover-up. But wait a damn minute. Did he just say, I went to visit SENZO's mom because I was not charged or found guilty for anything? Is he anticipating being charged, perhaps? Now, you see that question right there? And that's $1 million question. Why would he say that? What was the reason when all he was asked, well, what was it like to visit her? Why bring out legalities, Chicco Twala? Now, it brings me back to incompetences. Who's incompetent now? But I digress. Comment goes on to say, this signifies a soul that's in limbo, and come hell or high water, he's convinced that he will never be iniquitous and held liable for anything. It takes integrity and honesty for a man to come out and be purely remorseful. But once a lie is conceived, you have to continuously tell a lie after lie to preserve the original lie. Oh my God. So that it constantly consistent with your story and looks like you're telling the truth. That's how manipulators and narcissists operate. You see, he went to this interview and he was prepared for the question, why did you go visit her? But that wasn't the question. The question was, what was it like to see her? But he answered the question, why did you go see her? Do you see what I'm saying? But let's continue down our thesis. It goes on to say, unfortunately, the defense mode and arrogance, that's right. That's another thing that is displayed by his body language. Arrogance. Always catch up with the lie. As they say, lies always have short legs, okay? For instance, in one of his interviews, Chicco was telling us that he went to Vosloorus, where SENZO died, and saw a lifeless body of SENZO lying there, and then Chiggy. In another interview, I never went to the house. I drove straight to the hospital, where SENZO was declared dead. But you know what? Baloyi will never hear the inconsistencies there, okay? It's for this reason why Chicco registered his cell number. Why Chicco's registered cell number is now suddenly being apportioned to Ulongwe on section 205. You know what? Let's not digress down this section 205. We'll come back to that one. But I like the point that you are making. So, Mzansi, let me know your thoughts on this. Comment down below. Is Chicco Twala arrogant? Is he lying? Is he avoiding, and why is he avoiding eye contact with the camera? Why is he not looking into the camera and speaking with his chest? Okay, because he's confident in his ability to descend into the arena and visit the MEYIWAs. Okay, because he is not an enemy of the state. Oh, sorry, an enemy of the MEYIWAs.
Can you take us back to that awful time? Were you called by your son or by anyone in the house that night that SENZO died?
I received a call from Kelly. She's the one who called me. I was fast asleep when she called me. And then she was crying profusely when she called me. And before I could even ask, why she was crying, she told me that SENZO has been shot. She didn't tell me that he was dead at the time. I dressed up and went to hospital where I found my son there. I found Kelly's mom, Kelly's sister. There were so many people in there, a few people with nurses and police. That's what I found in hospital at the time.
I don't want to laugh, but one thing about Chicco Twala, he will not answer the question. Oh my God. If he insists on doing interviews, okay, if he insists on talking about the SENZO MEYIWA murder, he needs to learn to answer questions, and he needs to hire a PR representative, okay? And if I was coaching him, this is what I would say. If they ask you the question, were you called by anyone in the house? Chicco, listen to the question. Take a minute, okay? Say the question back. That gives you time to think of an answer. For example, if she says, were you called by anyone in the house? Say, was I called by anyone in the house? Yes. Kelly Kumalo called. Full stop. He went from, yes, Kelly Kumalo called me. She was crying profusely. I then had to dress up. And then I went to the hospital. Everybody was there. He lists who was there. And, that wasn't the question, though. But that's how we get info out of him. When he talks too much. Chicco Twala'S is a storyteller. He should stick to writing music, okay? Turn this into a song. He should stop doing interviews. Type a 1 in the comment section down below if you agree. Chicco Twala needs to stay away from the media. And when they call for a comment, he needs to say no comment. Type a 1 in the comment section down below if you think he just needs to stay away from the media.
And what did Kelly and your son say to you about what actually happened in the house?
I wish at some point Chicco could listen to me, because the answer that he gives here is hilarious and doesn't answer the question. He has a script
Chicco,
that
can
he
you
wants
still
to
hear
follow,
us?
and he wants to go by his script.
To be honest with you, Kelly was crying profusely in hospital. She couldn't actually talk. They shot SENZO and all that. It wasn't easy, ma'am, for anyone to talk. Because it was not. I don't think it was time to talk there, because everyone was crying. Everyone was crying. One only got the story after. But at that moment, definitely, it wasn't easy. It was just chaos.
It must have been an awful time. Do you believe that the death of SENZO MEYIWA was a robbery gone wrong?
Ma'am, to be honest with you, no one knows. I wouldn't want to actually be embarrassed, and then maybe someone says maybe my son is part of it. I really don't want to make comments, because we are all human beings. My son could lie, Kelly could lie, anyone could lie about this matter. So let the police do their work and find the perpetrators and send them to jail.
Baton, did he really just say Kelly could lie, Longway could lie, and I really don't want to embarrass myself? The question again was so simple. Do you believe that it was a robbery? Do you believe that it was a robbery gone wrong? All he should have said was, yes, stick with the story. But now, he himself has infused that Longway could be lying, Kelly could be lying. And he did not corroborate the story of the robbery. Did you guys catch that? Go ahead and rewind. Rewind it and listen to it again. And he says... I just can't believe that he did that. This is crazy. And how did everybody miss that when this interview was initially done? He did not say, yes, it was a robbery gone wrong. Therefore, let those 5 accused men out, please. Let the 5 accused out. Type a 2 in the comment section if you believe Chicco Twala has implied, okay, that it definitely was not a robbery gone wrong. He can neither agree or deny that it was a robbery gone wrong. Type a 2 down below and let's continue.
Do you believe there's a possibility that your son could have been involved in some way, or do you believe that he is innocent?
Knowing him, ma'am, definitely, I would be very shocked, because I've never seen my son with a weapon. None of my children, I've never seen my children with a gun or knife. I would be very shocked. If he did it, to be honest with you, I would be very shocked. He should be doing those things maybe in it. What I know about my son is drugs. When someone comes and tell me about my son regarding drugs, definitely, that I will never deny. But in this matter, definitely, I'll be very shocked if someone tells me that my son shot. I'll be shocked. Remember, ma'am, this matter about shooting SENZO only came in 2018 when Mens Not Beru announced that my son was fighting with Zandi. No one had that case. And now we are hearing about the second docket. It's something that was created by social media. Mens Not Beru. He's the one who came with that theory. So everyone bought into it. Even the NPA, they actually bought that story. I mean, if you look at the whole second docket, it's an extraction from the Twitter account of Mens Not Beru. Everything that is written, that's what is in that docket. Hence, I'm saying that, the police didn't do a good job. They just actually, with a second docket, they just extracted something from a Twitter, which is not good.
Yeah, and you have been very open about your son's troubles with. You were so angry with him, and you spoke about all sorts of issues, but you did mention the SENZO MEYIWA case. Why did you bring that into part of the reasons for you being angry with him?
Ma'am, my son has been doing a lot of wrong things. I own a studio in Four Ways. With drug addicts, they steal everything, and he will take my equipment, sell it, and all that. So there was a time where I just chased him away. So that time when I took him to the police, someone called me that he has stolen his phone. I mean, I'm a public figure. Everyone knows that it's my son. I decided to go and grab him wherever he was in the streets, and I took him to the police station. Remember, it's my son. If he goes astray, he steals and all that, it's my name. People always, there are a lot of haters, people who don't like me, will always use against me. So I got upset. So I grabbed him in the streets. Maybe you've seen him in that video. It was very dirty. So I took him straight into the police station to be locked in, because, to be honest, I wanted a peace of mind. He was very troublesome at that time.
Do you know if Longwe has been contacted to appear on the witness stand?
Yes, there's a Kininda. I think that the investigating officer gave me a call, and he wanted to speak to Longwe. But at the time, I told him that Longwe was still at the rehab. Maybe they should give him time. When he comes back, then he can meet with her. But I think they want him to be the witness in the SENZO MEYIWA matter. But he's okay now, man. He's been okay for the past 1 year, 6 months. He's clean now. He's out of drugs. I think he'll be ready to stand in a witness box and speak for. I mean, he has to actually say whatever. There's a gentleman called, like the guy that I spoke to. He called him, and then I don't know. I said, look, this decision. I think he had an interview with him. I think he's doing a documentary. His name is Zakele Shiba. Mm-hmm. Look, he can actually stand and talk for himself.
Yeah.
Yes, ma'am. I mean, we all love our children. It's normal. But sometimes, with my son, I used to manage. I won't mention the name of the person, but he's a singer who had the very same problem. And I know this addiction, how bad it could be, and there are times where you feel that, you can't take it anymore. That's why I ended up in the street. Not that I never loved him. I loved him. He's my son. Yeah. But obviously, when he goes astray, there's no way that I could be on his side. If he's a criminal, whatever, definitely, I will reject him. I will reject any criminal child in my space, because that's not me. Most people think I'm a mafia and all that on social media. That's their problem. God knows who I am, who am I, and I'm not going to defend myself, because people are people, out there. They can say whatever they say about me. I know myself, and the people who knows me, they know what kind of a person I am. There's no child of mine who can kill someone and I'll just live with him in my house. Even if the police didn't know, if I had found something with my son that tells me that he killed SENZO MEYIWA, trust me, ma'am, I'll be the first person to say, lock him in. I'll be the first one. That's my character.
And there's nothing, as you said earlier, that you have seen or heard from your son that indicates anything that he might have done wrong on that particular night?
No, the only thing he told me is, he said to me, Dad, there's 8 people in the house. Why not even one of them at least panics and shout and scream and say, Longwe, you shot SENZO? If there's 8 people in the house, I mean, it's not easy. I mean, it would be abnormal for all of them to be silenced by one person. I think it's impossible. I mean, for me, when he said that, and Kelly, I asked everyone. Unfortunately, I couldn't speak to the other guys, Mtogo Zizi and the other guy. I don't know. The only people I spoke to is Zandi, Kelly, and Kelly's mom. The first time I heard that Longwe shot SENZO was on the Twitter. Men's not Beru. It was men's not Beru. Everything. It's not actually the police or anyone. The police just got it from him.
Yeah.
When Chicco takes the stand, it's going to be really interesting. He has a lot to tell us. He has a lot to get off his chest. He doesn't care what the question is. He wants to talk about what he wants to talk about. Did he just say Docket 375 was created on Twitter? What? Did he just say that Twitter is the one that insinuated that Chicco Twala'S shot SENZO MEYIWA? No, it was Tumelo. Tumelo picked up his phone and he phoned SENZO MEYIWA's family, and he said, boyfriend Gazan. Okay. He doesn't know that story. He hasn't heard that version. Dumela didn't go on Twitter and say that on Twitter. He said it the night that SENZO was shot. That's what SENZO's family is saying they received. And you know what? Pinky's Section 205, when they come back, is going to confirm that. I don't understand. I really don't understand why Chicco Twala insists on talking with this regard. But let's read some of the comments as well that I received. Body language experts, please tell us why Chicco is saying I'm not enemies. She has accepted what I said. Me and her are not enemies. But he is profusely shaking his head at the time. The body is not lying. And the next comment goes on to say, the fact that he is saying if my son did something, then he must be arrested and go to jail shows his arrogance and trust in the devious plan he has orchestrated to protect him. It is condescending and a slap in the face of SENZO MEYIWA's family. So that is it from the comment section highlights I wanted to bring to you today. But what really stands out is Chicco Twala'S demeanor, okay? His lack of ability to answer questions. His diversion from the question at hand. Like, he literally diverted the question about Ulongwe Twala to talk about Ulongwe Twala and the things he does with substances, okay? The substances that are not legal, those things, okay? And then he goes on to go into more detail about that. And then he says, he gave us a clue though. He gave us a clue. He says, Ulongwe Twala has a history of theft, stealing other people's things. He actually has also stolen my equipment. Okay. But then what happened at the Kumalo was a robbery gone wrong, right? Maybe Ulongwe Twala was the robber. And then he ran out of the house with SENZO's phone. Are you picking up what I'm putting down? Oh my goodness. Did I just break the case? Is Ulongwe Twala the real intruder here? Mzansi, comment down below. I'll catch you on my next upload. Remember to like, comment, and subscribe. I absolutely love it when you do. Please do me a favor, share this video as well. Thank you so much. Catch you on my next upload.